Hi everyone, so welcome to the channel. So in this video we are going to discuss the second Roman of exercise 3b of straight lines chapter. So in this video we are going to discuss all the problems related to second Roman of 3b, right? So in this first question, in what follows, P denotes the distance of the straight line from the origin and alpha denotes the angle made by the normal ray drawn from origin to the straight line with the OX measured in the anti-clockwise sense. So find the equations of the straight line with the following values of P and alpha. So where we are going to use P and alpha? So here we are going to use in normal form, right? So P is nothing but perpendicular distance from origin to the straight line and alpha is nothing but angle made by the normal with the positive direction of x-axis in anti-clockwise direction, right? So already we know what is normal form. So normal form is nothing but x times of cos alpha plus y times of sin alpha is equal to P. So this is nothing but the formula which we are going to use in this. X times of cos alpha plus y times of sin alpha is equal to P. So already alpha value and P values are given. So let's begin with the first question. So question number 1. So P is given as 5 and alpha is given as 60. So P is equal to 5 and alpha is equal to 60. Now if alpha is equal to 60, so what is the equation of the straight line? So equation of line is, so what we can write, x into cos 60 degrees plus y into sin 60 degrees is equal to, what is the value of P? Is equal to 5. Now when I find the values, so cos 60 value how much? So cos 60 is 1 by 2 plus y into sin 60 is root 3 by 2 is equal to 5. So when I take LCM, so LCM becomes 2, right? Then I can write as x plus root 3 y by 2 is equal to 5. So from this I can write as x plus root 3 times of y is equal to 10. So this is nothing but my line equation. So question number 1, right? Let's move on to question number 2. So question number 2, what he has given, so perpendicular distance is 6 and next alpha is equal to 150 degrees. So 150 degrees in the sense it is moving in the second quadrant, right? Now let's see equation of line. So already we know the line equation, it is x cos 150 degrees plus y sin 150 degrees is equal to, what is the value of P? So P is equal to 6. So we are making use of this formula, right? So x cos 150 degrees plus y sin 150 degrees is equal to 6. So from this, in the second quadrant cos is negative, so cos 150 value, so cos 150 I can write as cos of 90 plus 60, the same way, plus y times of sin 150 I can write as sin of 90 plus 60 degrees, so which is equal to 6. Now x into cos of 90 plus theta, so cos of 90 plus theta means it changes to sin, since cos is negative in the second quadrant, so minus sin 60 degrees plus y into sin of 90 plus 60, so sin is positive in the second quadrant, 90 will change sin as cos, so this becomes cos 60 degrees is equal to 6. So what is the value of sin 60? Sin 60 is root 3 by 2. So x into minus root 3 by 2 plus y into, what is the value of cos 60? Cos 60 is 1 by 2 is equal to 6. On taking LCM and transposing these two, this becomes minus root 3 times of x plus y is equal to 12. So on transposing this 2 onto the other side, it becomes 12, right? Okay, so this is nothing but question number 2, right? Next question number 3 and question number 6 I will explain. So you try to do question number 4 and question number 5. So do it yourself and do it yourself. So question number 4 and 5 you do it yourself, because those are comparatively smaller values and those standard values you know, right? So question number 3 and question number 6 I am going to explain. So what is question number 3? P is equal to 1 and alpha is equal to 7 pi by 4. So question number 3, what he has given? So P is equal to 1, alpha is equal to 7 pi by 4. So what is the value of 7 pi by 4? So 7 pi by 4 means it is nothing but 7 into 45. 7 into 45. Or how can I write it as 8 pi minus pi by 4 only, no? So I can write as 8 pi minus pi by 4. So this I can write as 2 pi minus pi by 4, right? So 7 pi I can write as 8 pi minus pi. So 8 pi minus pi means 7 pi, right? So on splitting that 4 in the denominator to both the terms of numerator, so 8 pi by 4 is 2 pi minus pi by 4. Now we got the values of alpha. So it is nothing but 2 pi minus pi by 4. What is the equation of line then? So equation of line is x into cos of 2 pi minus pi by 4 plus y times of sine of 2 pi minus pi by 4 is equal to, what is the value of P? So P is equal to 1. So 2 pi minus pi by 4. So 360 minus theta. So 360 minus theta means it belongs to quadrant number 4. So in quadrant number 4, cos is positive and sine is negative. So clearly, and 2 pi means, so cos remains as cos, sine remains as sine. So I can write it as x times of cos pi by 4 plus y times of sine is negative in the fourth quadrant, so I can write as minus sine pi by 4 is equal to 1. So what is the value of cos pi by 4? Cos pi by 4 is 1 by root 2 plus y times of minus sine pi by 4 is minus 1 by root 2 is equal to 1. Now since root 2 is the LCM, I can take LCM as root 2, and if I transpose, this becomes x minus y is equal to root 2. So the answer is x minus y is equal to root 2. So this is nothing but my equation. Next, moving on to question number 6. So what is question number 6 given? So P is equal to 2 root 2. So question number 6, P is equal to 2 root 2 and alpha is equal to 5 pi by 4. So this 5 pi by 4 I can write it as 4 pi by 4 pi plus pi by 4, right? So 5 pi I can write as 4 pi plus pi by 4. This I can write it as pi plus pi by 4. So pi plus pi by 4 means which quadrant it is? So it belongs to quadrant number 3, because pi plus, so pi plus means 180 plus theta, it belongs to Q3. Now writing down the equation of the line, the equation of the line is given by x times of cos of pi plus pi by 4 plus y times of sine of pi plus pi by 4 is equal to, so what is the value of P? So P value is 2 root 2. Now clearly this belongs to Q3, no? So in Q3 cos is negative as well as sine is negative, and since it is pi, so cos remains as cos and sine remains as sine. Then I can write as x into minus cos pi by 4 plus y into minus sine pi by 4 is equal to 2 root 2. Now cos pi by 4 value is 1 by root 2, so this becomes x into minus 1 by root 2 plus y into minus 1 by root 2 is equal to 2 root 2. Now on taking LCM, what I am going to get? Minus x minus y by root 2 is equal to 2 root 2. On cross multiplication, this becomes minus x minus y is equal to root 2. When I cross multiply, 2 into root 2 into root 2 is 2 into 2, which is nothing but 4. When I transpose everything, so this I can write it as x plus y plus 4 is equal to 0. So this is nothing but my line equation when P is equal to 2 root 2 and alpha is equal to 5 pi by 4. Next, moving on to next question, question number 2. So find the equations of the straight line in the symmetric form given the slope and a point on the line in each part of the question. So here he has given a slope and a point. So this is nothing but point x1 comma y1 and slope is given. So using these two things, so we need to find out the equation of the straight line in symmetric form. In symmetric form. So what is symmetric form first? So first of all we need to know that. So what is symmetric form? X minus x1 by cos theta is equal to y minus y1 by sin theta. So this is nothing but my symmetric form. So in this form we need to write it. Okay. So we need to write in this particular form. So x minus x1 by cos theta is equal to y minus y1 by sin theta. So here since we need theta value, right? So that means we need to find out the angle. So moving on to question number 1. So what he has given? Slope m is equal to root 3. But we know slope is nothing but tan theta, right? So tan theta. When will you get root 3 in tans? So tan 60 degrees is equal to root 3. So from this tan 60 is equal to tan theta. On comparing this, so clearly theta is equal to 60 degrees. So we got theta is equal to 60 and this point is x1 comma y1. Now writing down the symmetric form. So symmetric form. So what is that? X minus x1. So what is x1 here? So x minus 2 by cos theta. So cos theta means cos 60 degrees is equal to y minus y1 by sin theta. So sin theta means sin 60 degrees, right? So likewise you can represent, otherwise you can represent this in the form of x minus 2 by cos 60. I can write as cos of pi by 3 is equal to y minus, sorry, here y1, no? So we need to substitute y1. So what is the value of y1? 3. So y minus 3 by sin pi by 3 degrees. So pi by 3 radians. So this is nothing but my line equation. So likewise you need to represent all these things. The same way if we move on with the second question. So what he has given, m is equal to minus 1 by root 3. So minus means it belongs to second quadrant, right? So when will you get minus 1 by root 3? So already minus root 3 we are getting at 120 degrees, right? Now minus 1 by root 3. So minus 1 by root 3 we are going to get at tan 150 degrees. Tan 150 degrees. Okay. So from this clearly theta is equal to 150 degrees. Now writing down the symmetric form. So symmetric form of this particular equation. So this is x1 and this is y1. So from this I can write this as x minus x1. So what is x1? Minus 2 by cos theta. So cos theta means cos 150 degrees. So this is equal to y minus, so y1 is 0 by sin 150 degrees. So if you write it in simplest form, so x plus 2 by cos 150 degrees is equal to y by sin 150 degrees. So if you want to represent this in radians, so how can I write this as? So x plus 2 by, so 150 means 530 is 150, right? So 530, so 30 means it is represented by pi by 6. So this I can write as cos 5 pi by 6 is equal to y by sin 5 pi by 6. So this is nothing but my answer for this question, right? Next moving on to question number 3. So this is question number 2 and question number 3. So what he has given, so m is equal to minus 1. So just remember, so m is equal to minus 1 means it is possible only for tan 135 degrees. It is possible for tan 135 degrees. So 135 means, so I can write as tan of 3 pi by 4. So it is 3 times of 45 degrees. So from this clearly theta is equal to 135 degrees or 3 pi by 4 radians. Right, now writing down the symmetric form. So what is symmetric form here? So symmetric form I can write it as x. So here this is x1 and this is y1. x minus 1 by cos 135 degrees is equal to y minus 1 by sin 135 degrees. Or otherwise you can state it as x minus 1 by cos 3 pi by 4 is equal to y minus 1 by sin 3 pi by 4, right? So likewise you can represent any straight line equation in the form of a symmetric form, right? Next, moving on to one more question. So transform the following equations into slope intercept form, and normal form. So you need to represent each and every question in these three forms, right? So a standard line equation is given, so you need to convert these line equations in the form of those given forms. So first one is slope intercept form. So what is slope intercept form? So slope intercept forms, it should be represented in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. Next, intercept form means you need to represent that in the form of x by a plus y by b is equal to 1 form. Next, normal form means just now we did it, so cos alpha plus x cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to p form. So you need to represent in these forms, right? So I'll explain three questions. So remaining three questions, so do it yourself, try to solve them, right? So we are going to have the first question first. So question number 1. So what he has given, 3x plus 4y is equal to 5. So first one is slope intercept form. So for slope intercept form, what should we have on the left hand side? I need to have y on the left hand side. That means what I am going to do is I am going to keep this y term on left hand side, and remaining all the terms I am going to transpose. So this becomes 4y is equal to 5 minus 3x. So from this clearly y is equal to, since this is into 4, when I transpose it becomes divided by 4. So this becomes 5 by 4 minus 3 by 4 x. If I write it in order, this can be written as, so y is equal to minus 3 by 4 into x plus 5 by 4. So this is nothing but my slope and this is my intercept. So y is equal to minus 3 by 4 into x plus 5 by 4. So this particular form is nothing but called as slope intercept form. Okay, so this is nothing but we call it as slope intercept form, right? Next, moving on to the second form. So this is first form A. Next, moving on to the second form. So what is the second form? Intercept form. So for intercept form, what we said, so consider the given equation and make the constant as 1. So how to make this constant as 1? Simply divide with 5. Then what I am going to get? So 3x by 5 plus 4y by 5 is equal to 5 by 5. So when I divide with 5, then what I am going to have? 3x by 5 plus 4y by 5 is equal to 1. But what do I need? I need in the form of x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. That means x coefficient should be removed. So for that, what I am going to do is I can write this as x by this, I can write as 5 by 3. So this 3 I can bring it to denominator's denominator. So this becomes x by 5 by 3 plus y by 5 by 4 is equal to 1. If you observe clearly, this is in the form of x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. So this 5 by 3 is nothing but I call it as x intercept, and this 5 by 4 I call it as y intercept. So this is nothing but intercept form. So this I call it as intercept form. That means any standard line equation we can represent in any of the forms. Okay, so we have represented in slope intercept form, we have represented that in intercept form, right? So if you observe this, in intercept form 5 by 4 is y intercept. Now here also 5 by 4 is my y intercept. Okay, both we got the same answer, right? Next, moving on to the third form. So what is the third form? So the third form is normal form. So normal form is we need to represent in the form of x cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to p. So for that, what we are going to do is, so while discussing about normal form, so we have discussed this. So when you transpose this constant, if constant is positive, so directly divide with the square root of x coefficient. So square of x coefficient and square of y coefficient. That means So this is a and this is b. So first of all find out the value of root a square plus b square. So root a square plus b square is nothing but square root of 3 square plus 4 square. So this gives me 9 plus 16, which is nothing but square root of 25, which is equal to 5. Right? Now what I am going to do is divide with 5 on both sides. So this becomes 3x by 5 plus 4y by 5 is equal to 5 by 5. Now this is nothing but so x into 3 by 5 plus y into 4 by 5 is equal to 1. X into 3 by 5 plus y into 4 by 5 is equal to 1. Now this particular 3 by 5 I need to consider it as cos alpha. So let cos alpha is equal to 3 by 5, and then automatically sin alpha will become 4 by 5. Now this I can write as x cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to 1. So here this distance is nothing but 1. So this p is, the value of p is 1 here. Right? Now here what about alpha? So we got the value of p, no? So p is equal to 1. Right? So if you want to find alpha value, so for alpha value what we should take is we need to consider tan alpha. So tan alpha is equal to how much? So it is 3 by 4, no? So from this alpha is equal to, sorry, tan means sin by cos, no? So sin by cos means I am going to get 4 by 3. So tan alpha is equal to 4 by 3. From this alpha is equal to tan inverse of 4 by 3. Okay, so we got the value of alpha and p here. So when I consider alpha is equal to tan inverse of 4 by 3, then cos alpha becomes 3 by 5 and sin alpha becomes 4 by 5. Right? So likewise we are going to represent these things. Okay, so let us move on with one more question. So question number 4 and question number 6 I am going to explain. So remaining second question, third question and fifth question you do it yourself. Right? Next doing question number 4. So what is question number 4? X plus y plus 2 is equal to 0. So question number 4, x plus y plus 2 is equal to 0. Right? So first of all we need to represent this in slope intercept form. So slope intercept form means y should be on the left hand side and remaining all you transpose. So what will happen? So this becomes minus x minus 2. That means I can write as y is equal to minus 1 into x plus of minus 2. So this is nothing but my slope m, and this is nothing but my y intercept c. So this is nothing but my slope intercept form. Next moving on to what form? So it is intercept form. So for intercept form what I should do? I need to transpose this particular 2 to the right hand side. So this becomes minus 2. Now I need to make this minus 2 as 1. For that what I am going to do is dividing with minus 2 on both sides. So this becomes x by minus 2 plus y by minus 2 is equal to minus 2 by minus 2. This gives me x by minus 2 plus y by minus 2 is equal to 1. Here this minus 2 is nothing but called as x intercept and this is called as y intercept. So this is x intercept and this is y intercept. So this is nothing but my intercept form. Next moving on to the third form. So what is the third form? So third form is normal form. So for that what I should do? So first of all I need to transpose that constant. So when I transpose that constant it becomes minus 2. And if you are having negative on the right hand side, so to make it positive you need to multiply with minus on both sides. Then this becomes minus x minus y is equal to plus 2. So always you should have a positive value on the right hand side while writing the normal form. Next, if you observe here, the coefficient of x is minus 1, coefficient of y is also minus 1. If there is nothing, that means it has 1 as its coefficient, right? So here a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 1. So finding out the value of a square plus b square. So which gives me minus 1 whole square plus minus 1 whole square. So minus 1 whole square plus minus 1 whole square is nothing but 1 plus 1, which is nothing but root 2. So we need to divide with root 2 on both sides. We need to divide with root 2 on both sides. Then this I can write it as minus 1 by root 2 into x plus minus 1 by root 2 into y is equal to 2 by root 2. 2 by root 2. So 2 by root 2 I can cancel it in root 2 times. Then this I can write as x into minus 1 by root 2 plus y into minus 1 by root 2 is equal to root 2. So this is nothing but my value of p, right? Now since both the values are negative, right? Since both the values are negative, that means it belongs to quadrant number 3. It belongs to quadrant number 3. So in quadrant number 3, since these two values are equal, that means so we are going to get pi plus pi by 4. So what is the value of pi plus pi by 4? It is nothing but 5 pi by 4. That means x into cos 5 pi by 4 plus y into sin 5 pi by 4 is equal to root 2. So from this clearly alpha is equal to 5 pi by 4 and p is equal to root 2. So this is nothing but my normal form for this given question, right? Next, moving on to the next question. So we have discussed about sixth question, right? So root 3x plus y plus 10 is equal to 0. So all the negatives I am doing and showing to you, and remaining all the positives you can simply do it, right? So what is the question? Root 3x plus y plus 10. So question number 6, root 3x plus y plus 10 is equal to 0. So first we are talking about intercept form, slope intercept form. So for that you need to make y as subject. So y is equal to, so these two things I need to transpose onto the right hand side. This becomes minus root 3 times of x minus 10. So clearly, so y is equal to minus root 3 times of x plus of minus 10. So from this is my slope and this is my y intercept c. Okay, next moving on to the second form. So what is the second form? Intercept form. So for intercept form, what should I do? I need to transpose the constant to the other side. When I transpose, this becomes minus 10. Since it is minus 10, I need to make it as 1. For that we need to divide the whole thing with the minus 10. Then this becomes root 3 by minus 10 into x plus 1 by minus 10 into y is equal to minus 10 by minus 10. Then I can write it as x by this I can write as minus 10 by root 3, because already I told you, so here x coefficient should be 1 here. That means, so this root 3 I am going to bring as a denominator. Then I can write as x by minus 10 by root 3 plus y by minus 10 is equal to 1. So from this clearly, this particular minus 10 by root 3 is my x intercept and minus 10 is my y intercept. So this is nothing but my intercept form. Next moving on to normal form. So normal form means, so first of all write this as, so constant should be transposed to right hand side, then this becomes minus 10, but on the right hand side we are having negative value. So for that what we are going to do is, we need to multiply with minus, then this becomes root 3 minus root 3x minus y is equal to plus 10, right? Here a is minus root 3, b is minus 1. Now what is the value of a square plus b square? So square root of a square plus b square is nothing but square root of minus root 3 whole square plus minus 1 whole square. So this gives me minus root 3 whole square is 3 plus 1. So this gives me square root of 4, which is equal to 2, right? Now we are going to divide with the 2 on both sides. Then this becomes minus root 3 by 2 into x minus 1 by 2 into y is equal to 10 by 2. Clearly this clearly explains that x into minus root 3 by 2 plus y into minus 1 by 2 is equal to 5. Now clearly you can observe that both the values are negative. Since both the values are negative, that means it belongs to quadrant number 3. Alpha belongs to quadrant number 3 and this p value is 5. So clearly the value of p is 5. Now we need to find out this angle. So how to find the angle? So this is nothing but x cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to P form, right? Now what is the value of tan? So tan alpha is equal to sin alpha by cos alpha only, no? This I can write it as 1 by root 3. That means clearly alpha is equal to 30 degrees. So from this alpha is equal to 30 degrees and P is equal to 5 units. So alpha is equal to 30 and P is equal to 5. So likewise you can find out the slope intercept form and normal form, as well as if you want you can write down symmetric form also. So these all are the things that you can convert a standard line equation into different forms which we have discussed. Moving on to one more question. So question number 4. If the product of the intercepts made by the straight line x tan alpha plus y secant alpha is equal to 1, where alpha ranges from 0 to pi by 2 but it is not pi by 2, on the coordinate axis is equal to sin alpha. What he has given? The product of the intercepts. So product of intercepts made by the straight line x tan alpha plus y secant alpha is equal to 1, on the coordinate axis is equal to sin alpha. Find the value of alpha. Now let us see this. So what is the given question? So given equation is x tan alpha plus y secant alpha is equal to 1. Now first of all we need intercepts, no? So to find out intercepts, what we can do? So either you can convert it into intercept form, otherwise you can make use of, so already we should know. So if I want x intercept, put y is equal to 0. So when I substitute y is equal to 0, then this becomes x tan alpha is equal to 1. X tan alpha is equal to 1. So from this x is equal to 1 by tan alpha. So 1 by tan alpha means cot alpha. So this is nothing but my x intercept. Okay. The same way, if I want y intercept, so for y intercept put x is equal to 0. So when I put x is equal to 0, then this becomes y secant alpha is equal to 1. So from this y intercept is nothing but y is equal to 1 by secant alpha. So 1 by secant alpha means it is cos alpha, right? This cot alpha I can write as cos alpha by sin alpha, right? Next what he has given? Product of intercepts. So product of intercepts is equal to sin alpha. So product of intercepts is equal to sin alpha is given, right? Now what are the intercepts? This is x intercept and this is y intercept. So what is x intercept? Cos alpha by sin alpha into cos alpha. So product of intercepts is equal to sin alpha. Now from this, in the numerator we are having cos alpha into cos alpha, we can write as cos square alpha. If I transpose this sin alpha, then this I can write as sin square alpha. So cos square alpha is equal to sin square alpha. So when I transpose this, I can write as cos square alpha minus sin square alpha is equal to 0. Since it is in the form of a square minus b square, so you can write as, or cos square alpha minus sin square alpha I can write as cos 2 alpha is equal to 0. So when cos value will become 0, so it is possible when 2 alpha is equal to pi by 2. So when 2 alpha is equal to pi by 2. So clearly from this alpha is equal to pi by 4. So by using the concept of cos 2 alpha. So cos square alpha minus sin square alpha means cos 2 alpha. So 2 alpha is equal to pi by 2. From this alpha is equal to pi by 4. So this is nothing but the angle made by that particular line, right? So x tan alpha plus y secant alpha is equal to 1. So here the angle is pi by 4. So then only the product of slopes is equal to sin alpha will occur. Okay. Thank you for watching the video. So in the next video we are going to continue the remaining problems.